Hi guys, this is what can I do with a rectangle? I am Holly Hutchings, and I am so excited to share this with you. I've actually been working on it hard all year, trying to get everything ready, everything aligned. I want to make it super easy to teach sewing so that everybody wants to do it. So this is just kind of some projects that I've come up with that make teaching sewing really, really easy and make it fun so that kids want to take it and make it simple for them and simple for you. And so I'm going to give you some resources that are going to help improve your experience teaching sewing if you're doing the CCA class and you want to include sewing, or if you're doing, I actually teach these in Facts Exploration A, and they are really, really fun little projects that we do, and the students do great on them, and especially with the video instruction, they've just been fantastic. So I am so excited to share this. So I'm just going to start. Okay, so this presentation is called What Can I Do with a Rectangle? These are super easy sewing projects that cover sewing skills that are USBE standards. And for the Facts Exploration A class, there are also standards for any beginning sewing class. Like, these really could be used in high school for a beginning project to teach basics, just depending on what you as a teacher want to do. But currently I teach at the junior high. I have taught high school. I taught high school tailoring for 17 years. I did the level 1, level 2, level 3. And so there are some things here that overlap, and it could be usable for that. So yeah, super fun resources that will be available. I've actually put Star Wars theme to my videos, so it makes it really fun too. All right, so let's go to the second page. Why is this presentation called What Can I Do with a Rectangle? These patterns are all designed from a rectangle the size of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And so, so basically I just take it to the printer, and I take it to the printer. Look over here in the corner. You can see where I'm holding this up. This is just an 8.5 by 11 paper that's just printed, and the pillow and pillowcase are printed on either side, but it's the same size pattern. So it makes it really easy prep for you to just print them off and have them ready for the first day of sewing class or whatever. This is actually the second sewing project we do in the Facts Exploration, but it's really fun and super easy. My whole goal is for students to I just want them to have a fun sewing experience, and I want them to feel successful. I think that, especially in junior high, is the most important motivating factor for them to want to continue, is to have a quality project when they're finished, and even more important than like perfect quality, if they have success, if they feel successful and they're like, oh my gosh, I can actually do that. I think that is the most important thing. So you can photocopy right over here on my PowerPoint. You can photocopy the pattern in bulk. There are lots of different fun projects you can make from a rectangle. I actually have 5 projects, but I'm only showing you 3 because they're the only 3 I'm probably going to have finished with everything by the end of the summer. But in addition to the 3 that I'm going to show you, I also do a utility apron and a kind of a shoulder bag. So there's a lot of, and maybe like some of my ideas could spark ideas for you, and you could come up with something even cooler. And if you do, feel free to share, because I would love to see your ideas. Okay, these patterns can be blown up to 11 by 14 so that they can be made bigger. You can put the 8.5 by 11 paper on the photocopier, enlarge it onto an 11 by 17 paper, and then cut 3 inches off the bottom, and that will make it equal proportion to the 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17. So I'm just going to stop sharing for just a minute. Well, actually, let's go to the next slide. If you look here, these are the 3 project choices that I'm sharing with you today. Maybe sometime in the future I'll have the other 2 ready, but for this year, this is what I'm planning on having ready by the end of the summer. So drawstring backpack is completely finished. And then travel pillow is almost finished, and Rice Pack, I'm done with the pattern. I'm done with the instructions sheets and the grading sheet, but I am not done with the videos. So I have a lot of them recorded, but I just don't have them edited yet and ready to post. So, so we're going to start with the backpack. In my presentation, I have 3 different project choices and that are ready. I actually have a few more ideas that I want to add to these. Just really simple to do projects that teach them basic sewing skills that are on the state standards for sewing skills, and really important sewing skills that they're going to need in their life. And so I just want to show you the 3, like what the projects look like and what the pattern looks like, and then I'll go into more detail about some of the other stuff. So first, here is the drawstring backpack. And if you look right here, this is the 8.5 by 11 sheet. Now this sheet can be blown up onto a 11 by 17, and then you cut 3 inches off the bottom and it makes it 11 by 14, which is an exact proportion to the 8.5 by 11 if you want to make the backpacks a little bit bigger. But this is what the backpacks at 8.5 by 11 look like. The kids love them because they can put like they can make little makeup bags or carry their cell phones or a book in them. And some of them want to make the bigger ones, and I let them do either one. I make both sizes. But on the front, it just has a folded pocket, so there's no finish work on the pocket, so it makes it really easy to finish a pocket. And one of my big goals is I want them to feel like sewing is easy, so that they finish a successful project without being frustrated. And so I try to simplify a lot of the things that they're doing so that when they get done, they know how to do it, and they don't get stuck on something that's really hard. Right here, I want you to notice how I used an embroidery stitch for the pocket. So if you want to teach your students embroidery, you can actually have them do that embroidery. It's on the instructions, showing them how to do an embroidery stitch. You can also have them do a straight stitch, change it up if you want to do something a little more where you're teaching them something different than I teach it. But I just wanted to point that out, that's another skill they're learning there. I'm gonna go over here to the pillow and pillowcase because that's the other one that I have videos done for. So this pattern right here, if you look at it, it says pillowcase on one side and it says pillow on the other side. So I just print it that way so that so they can just take. I usually have them take 2 patterns, but one will say pillow and one will say pillowcase. It just makes them easy so they don't grab the wrong pattern. And so they'll use one side of the pattern for the pillowcase and one side for the pillow. But in all honesty, I just print a whole bunch of them and I have them take 2. And then when they lay it out, I have them lay it out at the same time. And then here's what this pillow is made, just a little bit smaller than the pillowcase. So the pillow fits right into the pillowcase. There's the opening there, and it's a travel pillowcase. So I actually ordered these from Amazon, these little cord stoppers, and it makes it fun. So they feel like their project is really professional when it's finished, and it just makes it look like they could sell it. But the projects are so easy that they can't believe that they can sew something so awesome and so easy. Okay. And then the third project that I have finished is called the rice pack, and I have them do the rice pack with the drawstring bag that holds the rice pack because it gives them like the skill that I want them to learn. If you'll notice, all 3 of these patterns have casings somewhere. So on the top of the rice pack bag, there's a casing. If you look at the top of the drawstring bag, there's a casing. And if you look at the top of the pillowcase, there's a casing. And so the trick is teaching them how to do a casing. And so that's why I make them do a bag with the rice pack so that they can learn the casing. They also learn the edge finishes on the inside, like how to do a zigzag finish, and how to clip the corners and cut the bulk out of corners and pivot and those kind of basic things. So those are the 3 projects: the drawstring backpack, the rice pack, and the pillow and pillowcase. And then movie number 3 that I want to show you right now it's basically going to show you the instruction sheets and how they're set up to go with the grading sheets. Now I want to show you the instruction sheets, and I have actually designed the instruction sheets from beginning of project to end of project, including a grading sheet that goes along with the instruction sheet to make it super simple, super easy for kids to understand. One of the things that I want to point out with these instruction sheets are they all have a layout guide, so it teaches them how to lay out. And then at the bottom of the layout guide, there's a place that says checkpoint, stop and get a sign off. Now, one of the things with sewing projects that are really frustrating as a teacher and as a student is they really don't know how to pin or cut out when they're doing their first sewing project. And so teaching them, like having a little demo where you teach them how to lay out their fabric, and then you teach them how to pin, how to measure the grain line, how to do all of that, and then my key to success in making sure they learn it is right here where I make them stop and I look at it before they start cutting, and that helps prevent a lot of problems with them cutting things out wrong. And so that is, I call it grading category 1 is the layout guide. On their grading sheet right over here, grading category 1. Pattern layout guide, and then right here in this little spot I sign it off, and they have to have the signatures to get full points. So like if they lose their sheet, you know, you can handle that how you want. I usually tell them to write a little explanation of what happened to their sheet so that I kind of know that it was signed off, but I won't re-sign it after the fact unless I can totally remember that I signed it before. But then, so if we go back to the instruction sheets, each one of these instruction sheets are, if you open it up, you will see grading category 2. And grading category 2 is all the same for all 3 of them. And what you're going to find with all of these projects is they are basically the same skills, just folding rectangles in different shapes and sewing them a little bit differently. But the skills are like almost exactly the same. They're doing a few different things on each one, but learning the basics that we want them to learn and hopefully feeling successful when they're finished. So, so grading category 2 is assembling pattern pieces. So that's like the part where they are putting pieces together and like trimming corners off and cutting the bulk out and and then actually stitching the bag together, stitching the pieces together, and then if you go over here, when they have finished grading category 1, at the end they finished all of these skills here, then over here there's a little checkpoint and there's a little box for you to sign right there. And so when they have checked them off, you can either sign them by skill, like usually I'll put a little initial by each one so I know which one missed points if any are missing, but I do it at the end all together so that they're not having to wait for every single step. And then we're going to go back over to here, and you can see this is the Rice Pack grading category 3, which is the finish work, and that is where it's going to give them all the instructions to finish up the project. Again, it says checkpoint, stop, and get a sign off. And then if you look over here at the grading sheet, it correlates. It says grading category number. Grading category number 3 is the finish work. They finish everything up. There's a little place for you to sign right here. And then the very last sign off on the back of the grading sheet. Now this is 2 sheets because I don't have them printed together, but I usually print them back to back, so this would be on the back. And they only get a half a sheet, so this would be cut in half. So there's actually 2 of them on here. But if you look right here, there's questions, and if you look close, it says complete sentences are required. You will lose 1 point per incomplete sentence, and then you may need to write small so that you can fit it all. And then in this box right here, they're supposed to answer the questions. And so I have them answer the questions. So going back to the other side of the grading sheet, if you look right here, you can see the overall. And these are the things that they have to have finished. So followed instructions, attitude, final appearance. You're going to sign each one of those off,
But I don't put a final signature until I make sure that all of these sentences are complete. Because that way they don't, I find that they have a very hard time understanding what a complete sentence is, but it's your chance to have that dialogue with them. I feel like in grading and sewing, the most important part of the grading process is the dialogue that you have with them as you discuss what they did right, what they didn't do. I love to celebrate their successes with them. And so I'll send them back to fix like their complete sentences, and that kind of helps them have a successful moment of understanding how to be literate, which I know sewing isn't literacy, but we are graduating students from high school when they're finished with, they'll graduate from junior high in my class, but if they don't know how to write a complete sentence, we can help reinforce that and help the English classes too. So that's kind of the grading sheet and the instruction sheets and how I have them laid out to work together with the pattern that I've designed all of this, and I have it all on my website. But there's the drawstring bags, the rice pack, and and the pillow that's over there.